The heat of blast furnaces roaring at 2,500 degrees, spitting out molten metal, rolled into miles-long sheets that are pressed, stretched, and spun into coils, part of a decades-long, time-tested process to make the steel that serves as the backbone of our cars, appliances, and the U.S. economy, too. U.S. Steel's Irvin plant just outside of Pittsburgh churns out about 3 million linear feet of steel a day, part of a massive operation that supports over 3,600 jobs in Pennsylvania alone, according to U.S. Steel VP of Sales Rob Kopf.
I mean, this plant's really, it's kind of a microcosm to me of what the steel industry has been doing and is ready to do.
The company is about to make a dramatic change, merging with Japanese company Nippon Steel. The deal was opposed by both Presidents Joe Biden and Donald Trump on the campaign trail, but was eventually blessed by Trump on the promise to protect and create more than 100,000 jobs. That would be a bright spot in an otherwise dim picture for manufacturing, a sector that lost more than 300,000 jobs over the last 3 years and almost 5 million since the turn of the century.
How long of a plan is that? Like, when will this area start to see all that investment and all those jobs get made?
The plan starts now. It's really going to be an accelerated investment time period of about the next 3 years.
The industry also being reshaped by the president's core economic policy, tariffs. The Supreme Court struck down many of Trump's tariffs, but not those on foreign steel.
We have customers in the appliance industry that have already committed to onshoring production from China back into the U.S.
Buying U.S. steel.
Buying our steel to do it when they start production next year.
It's all why Beth Hammack is making a visit. She's the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland and one of just 12 people in America who get to vote on interest rates.
Hi there.
Rob and plant manager Don German are her tour guides as Hammack gets a pulse on how U.S. Steel is hiring and pricing its products.
We're going to start at our 1938 hot strip mill.
Into the belly of U.S. Steel's beastly facilities.
One just dropped out of the furnace.
Among the ribbons of hot steel in observation, a lot of the processes are automated.
Yeah, no, you really don't see anybody.
They operate those edgers, the tables, the mill, everything from up there.
U.S. Steel employs about 850 people here and would like to hire more.
Have you had trouble finding workers, or is it?
Oh, yeah, everybody does.
So if it's hard here to get the workers he needs, to find them, if he has to pay them more, then that's going to raise the price, which means that appliance, that washing machine, that dryer is going to be more expensive down the line.
Hammack points to her concerns about prices as the main reason she doesn't see a case for lowering interest rates now.
My base case is that we're going to be on hold at this level for quite some time.
What does quite some time mean?
Quite some time means a long time. I'm not going to put a number on it. I won't put a month on it.
Our conversation happened before the war in Iran began. Now, with oil prices rising and potentially a new inflation risk, the Cleveland Fed tells us Hammack's outlook hasn't substantially changed and that it's too soon to say what the impact will be. In the meantime, it's full steam ahead for U.S. Steel.
You get a big roll of toilet paper that weighs 16 tons.
As policymakers think about what to do with rates,
how does the economy look from the perspective of the Irvin steel plant here in Pennsylvania?
I think the economy looks like it's doing well.
One cog in an economy that's churning and changing every day.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.